Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Respectable viewers and listeners, welcome back after the break. Assalamu alaikum. As I was discussing prior to the break, how we are required to surrender ourselves to the will and choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this submission entails fearing the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to obey Him, in order to attain His closeness, His vicinity, His proximity, fearing accountability in His court. To, how is our heart going to surrender to the will and choice of Allah, as each and every organ is required to submit and surrender to the will and choice of Allah according to the divine instruction, Udkhulu fis silmi kafa. And our Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned in a hadith which is quoted in Sahih al-Bukhari in volume 1, book number 2, hadith number 49, that beware, there is surely in the body a piece of flesh. When it functions correctly, then the entire body follows. And when it malfunctions, then the whole body will be in disorder. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he said, listen carefully, Allah wahiya al-qalb, and that is the heart. So how is the heart required to submit and surrender to the will and choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? To protect that heart from adopting beliefs of disbelief, protecting it from disbelief by distancing oneself from disbelief, from shirk, from misguidance, from the diseases of the heart, self-praise, narcissism, arrogance. As arrogance is that sin which takes one or likens one to the shaitan. As in the Quran it is mentioned, Aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. He refused to obey Allah, to demonstrate respect to Sayyidina Adam ala nabiyina wa alayhi salatu wasalam, and he was arrogant. So arrogance will make you equal to the shaitan in being arrogant. To protect the heart from arrogance, from jealousy, from unlawful hatred, these are diseases of the heart that we are required to protect our heart, which is the central organ of our body. And for the physical well-being of every person, we are also required to protect our heart from spiritual disease, and these are spiritual diseases. To protect the heart from such things. And just as if the heart, the ulama have mentioned that the heart, if it is affected with these impurities, because these are impurities, kufr, shirk, misguidance, ultimate impurities, to protect the heart from that. And then the other diseases which I mentioned, these are also destructive for one's deeds. So in order to keep our heart as that heart which the Quran refers to as qalbun salim, a sound heart, a heart which has peace, which is protected from such things, is known as a qalb salim. And this is how the heart has become a Muslim. The scholars have stipulated that the heart is like a reservoir which has clean water, and the eyes, ears, the mouth, the other limbs are like taps connected to the heart. So if the heart, meaning if the reservoir is clean, then what is going to come out of the taps? Clean water. Meaning that the eyes, ears, the mouth, the tongue, the hands and feet, they will all accordingly be functioning correctly if the heart is functioning correctly. So by protecting the heart from disbelief and from misguidance, this is essential for the heart. And to also refrain from the company of such people in order to truly protect the heart. This is also necessary. Why? Because those people have incurred and earned the wrath of Allah. The Quran says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ عَذَابًا مُهِينًا. That surely those people who cause discomfort, who annoy Allah and His Prophet, لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ, the curse of Allah is upon them in the dunya and in the akhirah. And for them is prepared a disgraceful punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also mentioned that لا تقعد بعد الذكرى مع القوم الظالمين. Do not sit in the company of the misguided after recollection. So this is very important for us in order to protect our heart from misguidance, from kufr, from shirk, that we submit and surrender to the will and choice of Allah completely and exhaustively. Likewise, respectable viewers and listeners, as I mentioned, that the submission has to be of the complete body. Our eyes, they are also required to be a Muslim, meaning to enter into the folds of Islam. So we, as a Muslim, must know those things which are impermissible for the eyes to do. The impermissibilities for the eyes, for the ears, for the mouth, for the hands, for the feet. We must have knowledge of this, as we cannot be a Muslim and then adopting actions of the non-Muslims which contradict and contravene the Sharia. Meaning that the eyes must not look at haram images, haram objects, or people like non-mahram, to look at them with an evil intention. It is also prohibited. In the Quran al-Majid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O beloved, declare, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ. That say to the believing men to lower their gaze and to protect their private parts. And that is better, the purest for them. ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا يَصْنَعُونَ. Surely Allah, He knows completely. He is the khabir of what they do. We are always within the vision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot escape the knowledge and divine vision of Allah Azza wa Jal. He is always seeing us. So we must act accordingly. As the hadith says, أَن تَعْمَلَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ, that you do actions as though He is watching you. أَن تَخْشَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ, and you fear Allah as though He is watching you. We are not just required to think about these things when we are in worship. Our Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam has said that when you worship Allah, what is ihsan? That أَن تَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ, that you worship Allah as though you see Him. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. And if you cannot see Him, then at least have the secondary stage that He is watching you. The Quran says, يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةَ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ, that He knows of the one who looks secretly. The kha'in, the deceptive person who secretly is looking or spying at someone, possibly at the non-mahram, etc. وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ, and what is hidden in the hearts. Allah is fully aware. As there is nothing hidden from Him. وَمَا يَخْفَى عَلَى اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. There is nothing which is khafi for Allah, whether it is in the earth or in the skies. He is alimun bidati sudur. So fear him. And likewise to the Islamic women. Our Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, the Quran says, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ. And say to the believing women to lower their gaze. Today people say, it's all about the heart. Dil ka parda hona chahiye. So these are incorrect statements. Yes, protect the heart from these things, but you must have outward parda, meaning veiling also. Meaning do not breach or violate the Sharia inwardly or outwardly. This is the trait and quality of a believer. So outwardly, your entire appearance must comply with the Sharia. Each and every limb must comply with the Sharia. And inwardly, your thoughts, your imagination, your emotions, everything should have surrendered to the will and choice of Allah. The true servants, they do not even get angry for their personal selves. Even that is for Allah. Love and hate for the sake of Allah. As the hadith says, Man ahabba lillahi wa a'ata lillahi wa mana'a lillahi. Man ahabba lillahi wa abghada lillahi wa a'ta lillahi wa mana'a lillahi faqad istakmala al-iman. That whoever loves for the sake of Allah, whoever hates for the sake of Allah, whoever gives for the sake of Allah, whoever withholds for the sake of Allah, then surely he has completed Iman. He has completed his Iman. So Iman is only completed when you have these four qualities. And they do it for the sake of Allah. For the sake of Allah, not for their personal selves. So the submission of the eyes, that they do not look at haram, whether that, looking at non-mahram women, whether that is on the television screen, whether it is in the street, in public places, whether you are in public or whether you are alone. Allah is always watching you. You cannot escape the vision of Allah. So that's how your eyes will have surrendered. And what will they do? They will only look at those things which are permissible. Something which isn't haram, it is permissible. Looking at the Mus'haf, the Quran Majid is ibadah. Looking at the Baytullah, the house of Allah, the Kaaba, is ibadah. Looking at the Rodai Anwar, the shrine of Rasulullah is ibadah. Looking at the faces of your parents with love in your heart is not only ibadah, but it is that ibadah for which you will qualify for the reward of a maqbool hajj, of that hajj which is accepted. And when the Sahaba, they humbly questioned Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, what if sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this is done thousands of times in a day? Our Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam said, there is nothing shortage, the mafhum of the hadith I am stipulating before you, that there is no shortage in the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will be rewarded for all of those times you look at the face of your parents with love, for a maqbool hajj. Looking at the face of the ulama, of the scholars of Islam. This is how the eyes should surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The submission of the ears is also required by us. That our ears, they do not listen to statements of disbelief, of kufr, of shirk, etc. Statements which annoy Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We must not lend our ear to such people to listen to statements which contradict the Sharia. Blasphemies regarding Allah, His Rasul, regarding sallallahu alayhi wasallam, regarding blasphemies against the illustrious Sahaba ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in by such people who claim to be Muslims. We should not be listening to that, or to listen to such speeches which attack their honor given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their dignity, derogatory statements made against the Sahaba, against the Ahlul Bayt. We must not be lending our ears to listen to such statements. Nor should we be listening to ghibat. Quran says, وَلَا يَغْضَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. Do not do ghibat, backbite one another. أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. That would you like it that you would eat the flesh of your dead brother? You would abhor it, the Quran says. So ghibat has been likened to eating your brother's corpse, as you are dishonoring and disgracing a Muslim in their absence when they cannot defend themselves. This is impermissible and it is haram to engage in ghibat, no to do the ghibat, no to listen to it. As to even listen to it, Imam Ghazali alayhi rahmah says it is like the person is pouring the filth from his mouth into your ear. So you should not lend your ear to listen to such statements or to the slander and abuse of the Muslims. In fact, what should the Quran, the ear which has adopted and accepted Islam, that has become a Muslim, it should be listening to the Quran Majid, to Nate Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to Mawa'idhi Hasana, lectures about Islam. This is what the ears should be doing. And likewise, we have the tongue. The tongue should have also completely submitted to the will and choice of Allah. And how does one's tongue submit to the will and choice of Allah? By firstly refraining from making statements which will displease Allah Azza wa Jal and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. To abstain from doing ghibat, as I mentioned. To abstain from slandering the Muslims, from making fun out of other Muslims. You know, when we say Assalamu alaikum to other Muslims, then we are in fact saying peace be upon you, meaning your honor and you yourself and your blood, your property, your honor, your property and your blood is haram for me, meaning I will not cause harm to you, I will not cause harm to your property, and I will not cause harm to your blood. So I will not spill your blood meaning I will not attack you, I will not dishonor or disgrace you. You're at peace from me, nor will I destroy your property. This is what Assalamu alaikum means. You should reflect on that when you say that to people. And likewise the person responds by saying Wa alaikum assalam, meaning your property, your honor, your blood is also haram upon me, meaning it is safe, peace be upon you. That's what Islam is about, peace to those who give peace and want peace. These are the words that we say. So this is how the tongue submits to the will and choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by refraining from making such derogatory statements, insulting statements, which hurts other Muslims. This is haram, to hurt the feelings of another Muslim. And what should it do? What should it do? Some people proudly say that, I would say that on their face. Meaning it's not ghibat, but I would hurt that Muslim on his face. Even that is just as bad. As the Quran says in Surah Al-Humaza, that woe to the one who insults, who slanders on the face. وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. So we should refrain from such acts. The Muslim tongue, what will it do? It will recite the Quran Majid, recite Nate Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, recite a Hadith Mubarakah. And this is how you will be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even in your salah, as your complete submission to Allah requires you to engage in salah, to report to duty, this is your duty. You are reporting for your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to comply with His command in His divine court. We attend that 5 times a day, showing that yes, we are hadir, We are present to obey you, O Allah, Ya Allah. And then you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praising Allah, this is what the Muslim tongue will do. As the Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathira. That, O believers, remember Allah in abundance. Look at our aslaf, the example of our aslaf. As the true barakah lies in their actions. Meaning it lies by being in the company of your akabir. Al-barakatu ma'a akabirikum. The barakah, the blessings of deen, of iman, of amale salihat, of abstaining from the commission of haram, it is with your akabirin. The Quran also says this, وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيَّ, and follow the path of the one who has turned towards me. Meaning follow that person's example. The likes of the illustrious Sahaba, the AHLUL Bayt, ultimately our Master sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. And then these people, the awliya Allah of the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, as they are the ones who are present on the path of Noor, follow their path. So what would they do? Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, Shaykh Baghdad, Al-Ghawthul Azam, he completed the Quranul Majid every night for 15 years. Look at his love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is called love for Allah Azza wa Jal. You know, these people, they could not be separated from the worship of Allah. Worship and the awliya Allah, the likes of Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, are inseparable. They would be attracted to Allah so much, to His kalam. Because through His kalam, you will receive His closeness, His vicinity, His proximity. Your iman is increased, meaning it is strengthened. As mentioned in Surah Al-Anfal, إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم, and it gives jila, life to their hearts. وَتُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, and when the verses of the Quran are recited upon them, it strengthens. زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, their iman strengthens. So for the strengthening, fortification of our iman, we should recite the Quran. We can't even complete one Quran in a year, let alone, one every night, or once every week. Let's make it our habit to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Quran al-Majid by praying our salah 5 times a day, reporting for duty 5 times a day in the court of Allah as a true abd, a true slave and servant of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is incumbent upon each and every one of us, respectable viewers and listeners. Sayyiduna Imam A'zam Abu Hanifa, Imamul A'imma, the Imam of the Imams, Sirajul Ghumma, the light that removes darkness, the light in darkness. Imam A'zam Abu Hanifa, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he would complete 61 Qur'ans, meaning complete the Qur'an al-Majid 61 times in the month of Ramadan. Once during the day, once in the night, and once in the Taraweeh prayer. Look how they were attracted to the Qur'an. So we are required, respectable viewers and listeners, to completely submit to the will and choice of Allah with each and every part of our body, from the hair of our head to the soles of our feet. As the Prophet said, Al-Muslimu man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. A Muslim is the one from whom other Muslims are at peace from both from his tongue and from his hands. Meaning, do not even verbally insult another Muslim or physically hurt another Muslim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to completely and permanently surrender to His choice. As this reminds me of a couplet of Alama Iqbal, that khirad se la ilaha keh bhi diya to kya hasil. Khirad se la ilaha keh bhi diya to kya hasil. Dilo nigah Musalman nahi to kuch bhi nahi. Inshallah, I will join you next week. Remember myself and all our team in your du'as. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.